Dear friends, welcome to another episode of Geopolitical News. In this video, we will discuss the flight of Cerberus, the maiden flight of the new stealth bomber B-21 Raider from the United States Air Force. In ancient Greek mythology, Hades rules the realm of the deceased, an extensive kingdom where souls that enter become imprisoned, unable to return. The gates of Hades' realm are guarded by Cerberus, an imposing creature with 3 heads, a serpent tail, and a body covered in venomous snakes. As souls approach the gates of the underworld, they encounter a friendly and gentle Cerberus, but upon entering, the creature transforms, using its full fury to prevent the soul from returning to the world of the living. It was this name, Cerberus, that the United States Air Force chose to christen its first B-21 Raider bomber, the newest stealth aircraft that promises to replace the B-2 Spirit and the B-1B Lancer in the future. Cerberus took its first flight on Friday, November 10, taking off at 6:51 a.m. from the NROP factory in Palmdale, California. Although the flight was not announced in advance, dozens of enthusiasts were strategically positioned on a nearby road, resulting in many photos and videos that showed the B-21 from angles that had not been seen before. Hours later, the United States Air Force released a statement saying that the bomber was undergoing tests by the 41st Test Wing, a detachment of the Air Force responsible for testing new American aircraft. Recently, the B-21 had been seen conducting a series of ground tests, such as taxiing on the runway, a procedure recognized as a preliminary step for an imminent flight test. This led many enthusiasts to camp in Palmdale, an effort that paid off on Friday with Cerberus's first flight. Among various photos and videos, what have we discovered about the new stealth bomber from the United States Air Force? Just for context, the B-21 is the 5th stealth aircraft developed by the United States, with the first being the F-117 in the early 80s, followed by the B-2 Spirit in 1997, the F-22 Raptor in 2005, and finally, the F-35, officially introduced in 2016. The design of the B-21 closely resembles that of the B-2, both representing a flying wing design. Flying wings gained prominence during World War II, with the Germans designing the Horten Ho 229 and the United States the Northrop YB-35. None of them entered full production and operation, and in the second half of the 20th century, there was still some interest in this type of design. However, the rapid development of supersonic bombers halted the progress of such aircraft. Interest only returned in the 80s, with NROP engineers seeing great potential for stealth flight in the flying wing design. As the profile of a flying wing is much cleaner than that of an aircraft with a more traditional design, and the flying wing dispenses with elements like a vertical stabilizer, it results in an aircraft much less visible to radars, with fewer flat surfaces to reflect radar waves. The B-2 was the first flying wing aircraft to enter operation, encompassing, in addition to this more discreet design, highly advanced stealth technologies such as materials for absorbing electromagnetic waves and a wide array of electronic warfare technologies that actively affect enemy detection and target tracking systems. According to the United States, the result was the most stealthy aircraft in the world. An effort that came at a cost, with each B-2 bomber costing around $1 billion. In addition to the exorbitant manufacturing cost, the operating cost is also very high, with each flight hour costing $65,000. Despite the B-2 having no competitor in the world, with no other country coming close in technological terms, the high maintenance and operating costs and the emergence of new stealth technologies led the United States to advance with the program for its successor, a program that began in 2015, with the first flight taking place 8 years later. Regarding Cerberus, the aircraft was seen with a probe on its front for testing and obtaining flight data. Equipment that will obviously be removed after the end of the testing phase. The photos also revealed that the B-21 is entirely rounded, even more so than the B-2, a design feature that greatly aids stealth. Small horns were also seen next to the central fuselage, which are nothing more than auxiliary air inlets for the engines. Speaking of engines, the main air intakes are much more discreet than those of the B-2, a feature that also contributes significantly to stealth. Regarding bomb bays, they are much smaller than those of the B-2, and indeed, the B-21 will have less than half the bomb-carrying capacity of the B-2. The photos raise more questions than answers about the types of bombs and missiles that the new bomber may carry, but we know that the B-21 will be able to drop freefall nuclear bombs, such as the B-61. Regarding the engine exhaust outlets, they are, like the intakes, much more discreet than those of the B-2, raising questions about the number of engines on the bomber. The B-2 has 4 engines, something that is evident when we observe its nacelles, but the nacelles of the B-21 are considerably smaller. This means that the bomber comes equipped with smaller engines or has only two. From the observation of Cerberus, it is evident that the United States Air Force wants a smaller, more compact, and cheaper bomber to produce and operate, prioritizing stealth much more than the capacity for bomb carriage. Although it is already flying, there are still many mysteries and secrets surrounding what promises to be the deadliest and most modern aircraft in the world. Like and subscribe to the channel to help us. To the next time,